So yesterday I went and I voted early. This was my first year ever voting, as this was also the year that I became a U.S. citizen. So back on August 16, I became a naturalized U.S. citizen. And this paper right here, this certificate, my picture is terrible, is what gave me my freedom. So, of course, I was going to take my butt to the voting polls and vote. This election is particularly, super, super important to me because it hasn't been an easy process, to get to this point. A lot of people, that are not informed on how the process is and what you have to do to be able to, first of all, become a resident. It's not just you get up and say, I want to be a legal resident in this country. It's not that simple. I mean, there's a lot of things that go into it. I mean, sometimes you qualify, sometimes you don't. For me, since I married a U.S. citizen, that's how I was able to obtain my residency, was through marriage, So anyway, the fees themselves, to become a legal resident, you're paying almost $1,800. And I might be missing other fees, but it's close to $1,800. So back in 2013, I got married in 2012. Immediately by 2013, I became a legal resident. And in order for you to become a citizen, you have to be a legal resident for 3 years. And that was my plan since I obtained my green card. I wanted to become a citizen as soon as it was possible. And that's what I did. So this year marked the 3 years of my residency. So that was in February, I believe. And I decided, it's a big year. I mean, it's election year. So I decided that I had to be a citizen before November 8th. And I did. I filed my paperwork. I got everything together. So if you don't another thing, if you don't qualify for the waiver for the fee waiver, you have to pay $680 to become a U.S. citizen. So once again, it's not free. You don't just show up and say, "Hey, I want to be a citizen, so give me my citizenship." No, you have to pay. So anyway, whatever. I'm here, a U.S. citizen, voting for the first time. And I did it for many reasons. I mean, one of them, my son, his future. Another reason, for my family, like my dad, my brothers, they're still not citizens. They can't vote, so they don't have a voice, and I'm that voice. A lot of people, they say that, their vote is not going to count. It is. And the Latino vote was so important, it's so important for this election in particular. And, I wanted to do it for all those immigrants, not just Mexicans, like everybody assumes, that it's just Mexicans that are here illegally. It's not. It's, it's people from all over the world, not just South America, like we need to stop being ignorant and really know that it's not just Mexicans, or just because they speak Spanish, they're Mexican. No, like there's many others that are here illegally and that are not necessarily Latino. Another reason why it was very important for me to vote was because my uncle back in 2007, in 2006, my grandmother passed away, and he wasn't able to go back to Mexico because of his immigration status. And not even a year later, that's when my grandfather passed away, and he went back to Mexico. He wanted to be there. So when it was time for him to come back, he was afraid he wasn't going to be able to get back to his family in Detroit. He had his visa and everything, but he just had this fear of, police and just in general, immigration officers. So he decided that that it would be better if he came illegally, through the border and stuff. So taking that route took my uncle from us, I still remember the day that we came back from having breakfast. I was out with my parents, and my dad received a call from his wife in Detroit, and she told him that they had found my uncle in the desert, and that was it, And I still remember how happy he was here. He was living the life that he thought he couldn't provide for his family back in Mexico. He purchased a house in Detroit. He had a car. His kids were fine. His wife, they were fine. Obviously, like a lot of us, what is the American dream, Like, people in, in other countries or like Mexico, like they think that just because we're living here, we're, making big bucks and, we have all these nice things or whatever. But no, like we struggle too. But to him, like, I had never met anyone who was so grateful to live here. And all he wanted to do was to get back to his family and back to work, to keep working. And the, like, he wasn't able to get back here. He just wasn't. So by voting, I'm the voice that he would, that he would never have. I felt obligated to do this because I know how much this country meant to him. And I know that there are a lot of changes that will be happening, with this election and whoever wins. But at least I'll know that I voiced my vote, like I voted, and I did it for the millions of people that can't vote, for my uncle who, as much as he loved this country, wasn't able to make it back alive. And for my family's future. I'm so sick of hearing about all of these families being broken apart and all because of, their immigration status. I know it's not easy. The process is not easy. And for some people, it's probably not going to happen. But for those of us who can actually make it happen, then I really feel like it is more irresponsible to not do whatever it takes to be a part of history. because that's what this election is. So I'm glad I got to vote. I'm grateful for the opportunity, and yeah, everyone, I hope everyone went out and voted today, because our future will be in our hands, So if you haven't voted, go out there, vote, and let us know why you voted.